What I'm about to bring you is a crazy epiphany from someone who has been able to get ahead of the curve in the online coaching industry for over a decade now. I was able to interview Jonathan Goodman, I want to say near the end of 2021, and I reached back recently and pulled out a couple of the key clips. And one of them, which I'm sharing with you today, he has this major epiphany about AI and what it's going to do to the coaching industry. And only now are we starting to see it. But my belief is very similar to his that within the next year, within 2025, AI is going to be able to do the majority of the back and forth weekly check in type coaching. It's also going to be able to build things like workout programs and nutrition plans just as good, if not better, than most coaches. So the key here is going to be increasing the value in what you bring in a coaching capacity from your actual calls and the actual value that you can bring as a human being, which is emotional intelligence, which is helping people regulate their emotions, which is figuring out what people are actually saying between the lines and knowing exactly how to help them get past their own self-sabotage. So, two things before we get to the video. Number one, Jonathan Goodman's brand new book, The Obvious Choice, is out now. I'm going to share a link because I know it's going to be a super valuable book. And number two, if you want to learn more about how to actually become a better coach, send me a DM on Instagram saying coach or drop coach in the comments. And I'm going to send you a completely free training video that I did for a multiple seven-figure coaching company on how to become a better coach. Hope that's helpful. Enjoy the video.
I think a lot these days, I've been thinking a lot about how the role of the personal trainer is going to radically shift, nutrition coach too. There's a huge redefinition of what it means to work in fitness afoot. Augmented artificial intelligence is just going to disrupt completely. And I'll write some sort of white paper or something on this in the middle of next year. But it's really interesting because all of the things that trainers were made to believe is important are kind of irrelevant. All of our education systems are just so out of date. It's just comical.
Yep.
And computers do better than trainers most of what trainers think that they do right now. Like a computer algorithm can build a better workout than about 98% of trainers. And the reason for that is programming is a mastery profession, which means to reach a basic level of proficiency is really, really fast. To get to a level of mastery takes 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
And there's just this abyss in the middle, right? Well, computers can get to that base level. I mean, it's just a matter of just understanding like, okay, well, 1 to 5 reps is mostly going to be power. And then 6 to 8, 6 to 12 is going to be mostly hypertrophy. After that, it's muscular endurance. And yes, there's carryover, but here's exercises that fit into these things. Here's, set, rep, rest, workout schemes that work depending on the goals. Like all of this is algorithmic, right? Until you get to a point where there's real mastery involved. That's the top 2%. But most trainers are nowhere close to that. And so there's this huge redefinition of what trainers will need to do to be successful in the field. And all of it is around being a human. Because software, technology, artificial intelligence, augmented intelligence, I mean, its job is not to replace humans. Its job is to optimize humans. It's to remove all of the things that humans are shit at so that humans can show up in greater capacities in things where they need to show up. Build relationships, show people you care, listen deeply, support, hold accountable. None of these things, like a computer system that's like, we have an accountability algorithm. Fuck off. None of that matters.
Yeah. True.
Like you want a human who you can like give a thumbs up to over the internet or a high five or whatever it is if you're in person. And so what does that mean? And so we're shifting our company towards that, right? We're shutting down the Online Trainer Academy next year. And we're building an entirely new a distance course learning platform. And it's going to be based around all of these skills of re-educating people who work in fitness, giving them the skills that they actually need, leveraging the new technologies.
Mm-hmm. And And that starts, you've got guys have the app, the software, these pieces that are going to start to be able to do that work, so that that person can be the coach, can be the person and the
what
human.
Does the trainer need to do? The trainer needs to send a freaking spreadsheet to a client.
Yeah.
Why do you need some bloated, complicated, unnecessarily complex, super expensive software with multiple automations to send a goddamn spreadsheet to somebody? Like, you need that because these companies are software companies that have to charge for software.
Yeah.
Almost all of them are now owned by 100 million plus $1 billion VC or private equity firms. They have a responsibility to their investors. They're going to bloat their software, putting in features nobody needs so that they can charge way more money, because that's what you have to do if you're a software company, right? And so I just think it's all ridiculous. You're sending a spreadsheet to somebody.